Welcome to Virtual Mimics and Gimmicks, where a bunch of idiots pretend to know what they're doing and in the process torment me with their vicious mockery. I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master and player punching bag, Anastasia. Playing Troy, our half-wood elf ranger with a taste for bear blood, is Sean. We've got Ryan playing Viren, our furball cleric who prefers liquid courage, and Tatiana playing as Poofers, our wily tabaxi barbarian. And finally, we have Amanda playing Aravir, our sexy high elf sorcerer with hair and heart of gold. We ready for a recap?
Let's do it.
Count me down.
3, 2, 1.
Last time on Dungeons & Dragons Ball Z, our heroes continued their quest that began in the Underdark. During their exploration, they collected a few mysterious gems, which they sent word of to the living warden Encyclopedia Ambrose. He told them that the spider goddess Lolth is seeking to have the gems reunited, which will allow for a ritual that will elevate her above godhood and ensure her survival through the oncoming ruin. Now, our heroes are faced with the responsibility of collecting all the gems. They obtained the first gem, a grey one, by sheer coincidence in their explorations. The second blue gem they wrested from a hydra, and the third black gem they won through victory in the Tartarus tournament. Their hands found the fourth purple gem protected by a monster that transformed to look like fellow wardens, which now leaves 4 gems remaining, one of which is in possession of the group of drow that had previously hunted them down in an effort to obtain the grey gem. However, this group has since approached our heroes with a temporary truce, offering to lead them to the Lost City, which houses the remaining gems and serves as a location for Lolth's ritual. While our heroes collect the remaining artifacts, the drow will guard the city gates and prevent the further entry of monsters, but this doesn't bar those that are already inside. What awaits our heroes in the Lost City? What are these drow planning? What will happen if and when the gems are finally reunited? All this and more now on Dungeons & Dragons Ball Z.
Yeah.
That timing, though.
I know.
On fire.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I'm pretty proud of that one. I did have to
Landed
slow
that bird.
my pace of talking down a little bit, but that's fine. All right. So as I said, you are in possession of 4 of the 8 gems. One is in the green one is held by the drow who have just led you to this lost city, and the 3 others are somewhere within the city boundaries. To remind you, this city, according to the lore you were given by Ambrose, was once a kind of like central hub of drow in the Underdark, but has since been left completely desolate and has eroded and fallen to ruin over the centuries of it being empty. Right now, even as you are kind of on the borders of this vast view of the city as it's carved into the walls of the cave and surrounded by rivers and waterfalls, you can see in the distance various creatures roaming the streets. Some look malicious, others look even more malicious, but none so as the great creature of bone and shadow that seems to tower over the buildings and kind of pace around mindlessly, paying no mind whatsoever to the creatures running around at its feet. This is where we last left off, as the drow group had led you here following some less than friendly negotiations. The deal that was agreed upon was when Magnus feels well enough, he will join Derek, who was the drow you had freed from the warden camp, and reunite here with you once his food poisoning wears off. In the meantime, you will be entering the city to find the remaining gems, while the drow guard the gates and prevent the entry of further monsters. Without their defense, they've said that the city could simply be overrun trying to find you and hunt you down. So that is the current agreement. At the present moment, you are standing overlooking the city, still needing to cross a bridge to reach the gates themselves. You are with each other, obviously. Tempest is there, as are the, I believe, 5 drow who came to find you.
So we're looking at the city right now?
Yes.
What the heck are those things? They don't look like they're happy residents of the city. They don't look like taxpayers.
Well, they might pay taxes in blood, maybe. And she kind of like is wondering whether that joke translated.
I don't get it.
Just don't worry about it. Don't think of it as you're invading their territory and you don't want to get caught.
But those, we were told that this city was once occupied by drow. What happened?
Well, in the name of our most beloved goddess, the city was sacrificed to avoid an onslaught of intruders who sought
The whole
to...
city and the people in it?
The city and the invaders fell victim to the same spell. It was an honorable sacrifice done in the name of Our Lady.
Oof. Must have been pretty big danger to have to sacrifice a whole city. But these things aren't the invaders? Are these just underdarkish things?
It was done in the honor of her name to protect her legacy and her power, her name itself. It was... The sacrifice of lives was nothing compared to what would have sullied her name. The dwarves who sought to take over this place got exactly what they deserved.
Dwarves.
The dwarves, that's right. We heard that the dwarves and the drow clashed at some point. They delved too deep. Drums in the deep. Anyway. Okay, well, this is terrifying. Thanks for the heads up on not letting us run into this ourselves. So what's the game plan?
As we approach the city and come to the gates, most of us will remain at the gates and we will send one of us with you to provide a sort of insurance as to the situation. We will defend the gates while you roam the streets, being led by Marion here, and she kind of like gestures to one of the male drow. Led by Marion, where we have discerned the remaining gems to be.
You happen to have a friend named Pippin?
She looks at you and says, "This is a reference or something?" Is this a reference I'm too edgy to understand?
Yes.
Are we just going around in the city looking for the gems, or are we going to be led towards the gems?
Marion will lead you in the approximate areas where we've deduced they might be.
Do you know if they're being held by anything or if they're just locked away somewhere?
At least one is being guarded. The remaining seem to be protected by a magical ward of some sort. No doubt if they were to be triggered, that would attract a fair number of the city's residents.
So do the city's residents? It's a mixed batch of different evils, right? They're all different races and beings and whatnot. Do they know the importance of these gems? Do they know what they are, what they do?
They are various creatures of the dark who have come to occupy a place that is rich in resources and was once rich in food. And they have made their home here since. Not necessarily sentient beings of high intelligence.
But those that possess the gems, we can assume know what the significance is?
That, or they sense a power within them that they seek to harness.
Okay. I want to telepathically message Barry and say, do you still have a reading on kind of the precise locations of these things?
I'll use locate object.
Yeah, so it's still an empowered version of the spell, and you can kind of get like little pings of their direction, but they all seem to be within the city.
I messaged Troy back, and they're definitely in there. But it's still kind of broad, from what I can tell.
So we're canvassing large areas within the city, or we've got honing beacons to each gem, I guess is my question.
With the combined effort of Viren's locate object and the guidance of the drow who will be accompanying you, you will more or less be able to pin down where they are. You do have to kind of sneak through the streets to get there safely.
Only we had our sneaky stabby person.
So it won't be. You won't. This is a really, really big city. It's not like it would take days to explore. You're not. It's not going to take days to find one.
All right.
Okay, so how are those of us that stick out like a sore thumb? I look over at Poofers and kind of down at myself.
Poopers looks back up at you with big eyes.
How are we gonna go unnoticed? Our stealth is not that great, and our sneaky stabby's back at camp.
Most of the creatures will attack on sight. It's best to stay out of sight then.
Okay.
I think these
This
creatures
place
are
is
hostile
great.
toward them too. Okay, so can we get a rest before we go through the city? We have been walking
Nice
through
long
tunnels
nap.
and tunnels and tunnels of Underdark, and I am very pooped.
We should get to the gates. We have a bit of a what's the word? Protected area to rest.
Camp?
Like a hold up.
What do you mean?
A
What's the word
place
protected?
where you can rest easy. A camp.
Yes. No, but a camp. It's not outdoors. It's in a room. Let's go.
An indoor camp.
So she leads you across a very rickety bridge. There are a couple drow ahead of you and a few that tail the group behind you. And underfoot, a few hundred feet down, a river kind of peacefully slushes by. It's not like rapids or anything, but it's very wide and it looks very deep. And the waters are as black as the darkness around you. You mainly know it's there because you can hear it more than see it. And you make it to the other side of the bridge and approach the gates, where you see a few more drow are kind of standing guard, weapons drawn, and see you all approaching. They don't look particularly pleased to see the guests that have arrived with their leader, but they are aware of the situation and allow you into a medium-sized room that is void of any functional furniture besides maybe a table and a chair that are very worn with age. There's a single torch in here. All of the drow are on the other side of the room from the torch. They don't much like bright light. But it's big enough for you to kind of sit and have a rest. The leader does warn you that the more people are here, the more you kind of have a scent for monsters to follow. So there's a higher risk of there being an ambush if you're all here at once. Not to say you can't take a long rest, but there's a danger in taking a long rest.
How's everybody feeling? Are we feeling like we gotta take a nap, or do we gotta conk out for the night?
If I had to put a number on it, I'd say about 50 out of 76-ish.
Pretty okay right now.
I'm all right. The only problem is that for me to give us an extra level of stealth, I can only do it one more time, or I have to take a long nap.
Oh, you guys are getting tired of casting spells, huh? How about you, Aravir? How are your spells feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling very healthy, like full health, you know, but magic-y, feeling a little laggy, tired.
Maybe
This
we
is
should
pretty
risk.
good with spell slots.
Maybe we should. I don't know. What do you? I turn to the guide.
I mean, I could use, you know, like maybe we do 4 hours.
Well, I think 4 hours is kind of. Might as well just conk out for the night, huh? If we're gonna be here for 4 hours, what's the difference between 4 and 8? 4. But see, I can do math. But do we just want to rest up and make sure that we're all full? And I turn to the guy and I say, "Do you have any supplies, like potions or anything?"
She says we do for our own troops.
How about for
Ooh.
purchase?
What do you have to offer, and what are you seeking?
We have gold, and I click my little money thing, and we have some of this red stuff.
Rayon.
Yeah.
All right. Let me double check the conversion rate, which is like 2 months ago in my little notepad. So there we go. She will sell you a health potion for an ounce of rayon.
many ounces are in a pound again?
16 ounces are in a pound.
Okay, we have a pound and a quarter.
Well, a half ounce is 50 gold. So it's the equivalent of 100 gold that you're buying the health potion for.
Plus, let's be honest, what good is this to us after we go out of here?
We can trade it through the wardens. They have like an exchange.
Hmm.
You can get gold.
I feel like I can't enjoy my gold if I'm dead, though.
Very, very true. I've always followed that.
I feel like Magnus sometimes forgets. Geez, that's pretty steep, don't you think? That's like double what we would pay for. And you're the one that needs our help, right?
Well, you need our help too.
We do, but we could also just say F it and leave.
Sure, you could, if you could make it out of here alive. And they kind of
I
like all place their hands on their weapons.
That doesn't help you though, right? You're still stuck. So really you need us. Whereas we might have an escape route, you have to use us.
Sure. We also have faith in Our Lady's ability to reunite these gems. It's just done
And
better.
she likes us. She's
done
led
better
us
sooner
to
than
other
later.
gems. So don't you think you should go with what your lady likes and give us some help here?
You understand that this is a temporary truce, and by stalking you, we're putting our own lives at risk.
Temporary truce, sure. But as you said, your god has led us to a bunch of gems. Clearly she favors us. And I think she favors us alive. So helping us out with some cheaper potions might be in your best interest.
I will sell 2 potions for 1.5 ounces.
So 75.
Alright. I will take 2 potions for that.
She's willing to part with 1 more. At
Oh, total, not per person.
yeah.
How many potions does everybody have?
I don't think I have any.
I have 0.
0 for everybody.
I think we kind of used them all in the Fight Club.
Maybe there's 4 of us. You think we could get 4?
I still have 2. So
Okay, so
I think
maybe
I'll
we
need probably at
buy
least 1.
3, so we each have 1 at least.
Well, we do have Tempe with us now, which is basically healing, so we may be okay.
I think for the amount of gold, I think that's fine for the 3, because that's like, how much was the third one? Was it the same price as the last 2?
Yeah, 75. So it
Yeah, 225.
0.75 ounces. Yeah.
225 gold for 3 health pots. I mean,
That's
like,
fine.
that health pot.
Fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
let's do it, yeah. Alright,
Whoever's
fine.
managing your rain count, make sure you update that. So it was 2 ounces in total you lost, I believe. No. 1.5 plus 0.75, 2 1/4. Alright. Will you be taking a long rest or a short rest?
this is up to you guys.
I can keep going, but I'm not going to be as useful if I don't get a nice long rest.
Well,
How-
it does worry me that the streets are just flooded with things ready to.
And how
Kill
many
us.
gems are we going for in one trip? Are we going for 4 gems in one trip, or are we going for 1 and coming back?
So you only have to find 3. They have 1.
Okay. Are we going for 3 in one trip, or are we finding 1 and coming back?
Yeah, are we not coming back once we enter? Until we have the gems?
I'm asking
That's-
the guide.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's
That's
your
a-
plan?
as soon as you can gather them is best, but we understand it's an arduous task.
So if we have to grab 1 and then get out, we can do that.
Well, I feel like maybe I should tell everybody telepathic messages. I feel like we should rest so that way if we have 2 really close and we fight the monsters, we can grab the 2 and get out. We might have to fight our way out too.
Not only that, but if we say we do all the heavy lifting, and then these drow don't think that we're worth much anymore, they may just be like, we'll just go get the last one for ourselves and then ambush us.
All right, long rest it is.
Okay. We can kind of do unofficial watches if we want.
Erebor can watch for 4 hours, I think. 'cause she
Yeah, I
only
can
needs
watch
to
for
sleep
4.
hours. Why don't we sleep the first 4 and then you take the second 4?
Sounds good to
Good.
me.
That sounds good.
All right. So you guys kind of huddle together, make a little makeshift camp around your single torch, and sleep up. Erebor rouses 4 hours earlier than the rest of you, and backs up against a wall and kind of keeps an eye on everything. There is one incident where there's like a whistle outside, and all of the drow in here sprint outside, and you hear the kind of like clash of battle going on, and some ferocious roars.
Which I
few-
peacefully sleep through.
Yes, about 10 minutes later, the howls kind of either die off or retreat, and all the drow, except those keeping watch outside, kind of enter a little bit bloodied / hurt from the battle. But it was not bad enough to have to wake you guys up. So, after the 8 hours have passed, the rest of you wake up and feel well rested, full of spell slots, just chock full, full of rage potential, of what's your thing? Starts with an M, the fighter.
Maneuvers.
Full of battle maneuvers, you're ready to go.
Very maneuverable.
So
I'm
maneuvers.
just feeling very magic-y again.
I look over at all the bloody drow. I'm like, what happened to you guys?
They kind of give you like a dirty look and continue polishing their weapons. You get the sense that not all of them speak common.
They must speak oldish or something.
Oh, they speak Underdarkish.
Oh, that too.
All right. Everybody ready? And I kind of look for the guide. Is he still here? Or she?
She is outside, leaning up against one of the walls, kind of keeping an eye out on things. It's probably her turn for the watch.
All right, is everybody ready?
We're ready.
Ready as we're gonna be.
I'm gonna walk outside and go tell her that we're ready to go.
She gives you a nod and then does a kind of melodic whistle. And a few moments later, one of the male drows that she'd pointed out earlier walks up, and they kind of like look at each other for a second, and exchange a few meaningful glances, and then he nods and kind of joins the party behind you. And she says, "That's Marion. He will be keeping tabs on your progress, and should anything happen, will alert us."
Okey-doke. Guess we're ready to go.
And she kind of like opens she kind of like gives a nod, and the gates open, and you may enter the lost city. Almost immediately upon walking through the gates, your senses are kind of met with an onslaught of terrible smells. There's rotting flesh, the smell of iron and blood that has been baked into the streets for years, kind of showered with new blood as these creatures in the city would fight each other or whatever prey they could find. Apart from that is the rot of food and building and culture that just overwhelms you. And from this distance, you can hear the snarling of all sorts of nightmarish creatures as they walk the streets and throw up sparks against the stone underfoot. You can hear those claws. You can almost hear the sparks themselves as you see little flashes of light up ahead. You hear groans from some sort of undead something that wanders around. You hear the beating of wings as bats and other creatures fly from perch to perch. And you are at the borders of the Lost City.
Telepathically, is anyone else really regretting the decision to come down here? Because this place really, really is disgusting.
It's pretty gross. I must say, even I am a little bit grossed out by this. But, you want to tour the world, this is part of the world. You just kind of gotta...
Oh,
We'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Not saying we're gonna build a summer house here or anything, but I mean,
Secrets of the Fire Swamp.
as I'm pulling my feet up and watching him partly stick to the dried, bloody surface of the road we're on.
I slowly walk up to Marion and I'm like, so how do we get around here without being seen?
He does not verbally reply to you, but seems to kind of understand you, and just starts moving forward, keeping to the edges of buildings as the best he can, peeking around the edge to make sure that whatever creature is patrolling nearby has passed and there's an opportunity for him to rush by. And he begins making his way through the streets, clearly having done this before.
All right, I pull my little doomsday cloak hood more over my face and look at Barry as like, are we gonna follow this guy, or you know where we're going?
Are we going the right direction, or does it feel like we're kind of moving, at least in a general direction?
He seems to be moving toward one of the closer ones, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I respond to Troy. Yeah, it looks like we're going the right direction.
And so if he knows where this is and they know why are we here? Seems like he knows exactly what he's doing and where he's going.
Well, they said that they need our help because we're the ones with the gems, right? Clearly their god trusts us, so...
Well, they can't guard the gate and have a whole party to go get them.
Okay.
That was the reason she gave, was they just didn't have enough people. To give you a kind of better image of the city, even though it's kind of like grimy and gross and rotten with age now, the path underfoot is paved with stone bricks in a kind of nice mosaic fashion. The buildings look like they were constructed with care and careful planning. Even after the probably centuries that they've been abandoned and kind of wrecked by the creatures that inhabit it now, they've withstood time and are still standing strong. The city here was built by skilled artisans and skilled planners. It's not a kind of amalgamation of hovels that you would have seen in Kao, which is the city outside the Warden encampment.
This seems pretty different from how the Drow live now. Like, you wouldn't think that they would build a city like this based on what they've seen. Whatever happened to them must have been pretty bad.
So, if you're going to follow Marion, I will need stealth checks from everyone.
And at that point, I will cast Pass Without a Trace. So add +10 to your rolls, ladies and gentlemen.
21.
Thank you, Barry.
So, 21, 23,
21.
another 21, 31,
I'm
and
extra sneaky.
18. Tempest will cast Guidance on Baron because he has that spell now.
Okay. I'll throw a 4.
Oh, okay, 22 now. Good.
That's a dub.
So you guys are following Marion as he deftly moves through these streets in the direction of a gem. You pass all sorts of nightmarish creatures on your way, creatures who have skulls for faces, others merely walk in shadow. Still others kind of walk with flesh dripping off of their bones as they kind of mindlessly shamble around. A few seem to turn their head in your direction as they catch a whiff of something like fun to eat or fun to hunt.
Tactics.
But most don't seem to pay much mind to you as you kind of twist through these streets up a slope and toward a kind of like main center of town. When you reach this kind of town square, Marion stops as this seems to be as precisely as they could have tracked the gem down to. Viren, however, with your spell still active, I assume, you are able to pick out a specific building that you kind of get a sense of magic from.
Is Miriam heading there?
He has stopped and is kind of waiting for you guys to make a choice of where to go.
Gotcha. I kind of point over his shoulder, and it's like it's coming from there.
Yeah. Okay. I assume you go that way.
Yeah,
That's the plan.
that's the plan.
All right. So this building is significantly more tarnished than the rest. The door is just gone. There's like a large hole where the door would have been. Much of the roof has been destroyed, or it looks like torn down, kind of. This building is really more in ruins than in solid structure. And as you approach, you start to hear some very loud grunts and snores, and you kind of feel the heat and stink of some large creature's breath, even outside.
Well, this place has a ghoulish charm about it.
Wow. This is a horrible building. Let's go.
Yeah, who
You
picked
just
this one?
walk in. Or you,
I mean, so we hear the beast inside. Or
yes,
Smell him rather.
both.
Okay. We should probably go around the outside of the building and look if there's any alternate way in. See if we can get an idea of where, like, what part of the building this thing's in.
All right. So you kind of like carefully circle the building, and are able to peer through what was once a window. The glass has long been shattered. And inside you see a very large creature in this one room house. It's not a house, one room building. It must have been like a shop or something. As this creature is snoozing, looking a little bit peacefully, as peaceful as it could look. I will post a picture in our Discord's context channel. And behind it is a collection, like a little hoard of goods. Boxes, bags, sacks of things, just random knickknacks. It looks like this creature has made this place its home, and it likes to collect.
Oh, that doesn't look fun.
Ugh.
All right. So we have the advantage. He's sleeping. The question is, I mean, do we
I
keep
vote
him
Poopers.
asleep? Do we fight him? Do we trap him?
Hey, Troy, can you kind of get like a pin on this creature?
Yeah, so I'm gonna spend a minute and try to know my enemy. I don't know if it has a level or not, but I'd like to know compared to us. In terms
Strong,
of level,
Very strong.
right? Are we talking murder? Are we talking annihilation?
So I can tell you if the creature is superior to you in two areas. It's like, what two areas do you want to know?
You guys,
It probably has more health.
Yeah, we
'Cause it's-
probably want.
do you want to know?
health, though?
Okay.
So this, I looked over the rules again. I don't have to tell you the number. I just have to tell you if it's more than you.
I was surprised that you were giving
it's
it to us
gonna
for
be
so
more
long.
than us. More than one person in the party.
Here's the thing, though, is when we were doing it in the tournament, I thought it would be more fair to you because you're facing PCs.
Fair.
And then I forgot. So
And then you kept
I
doing
double-checked
it,
the
and I was
rule.
glad.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
would there be anything helpful then? Obviously
AC.
we know it's gonna be
AC would be helpful.
Okay, so who has our highest AC here?
It has to be in relation to Troy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's your
well,
AC again?
15.
So
It is superior.
It's not not super telling. It's definitely gonna be tougher for us to hit, and
it does look pretty armored too.
Yeah, it's probably pretty strong. How big is this thing?
This building is
It's like
probably
a worm.
like 15 by 20 feet big. That's like a decent sized room, right? I'm bad at measurements. This creature sleeping spans the entire width of the room.
Oh, it's a chonker.
Okay, I, as Poofers, would like to see if I've learned anything about this creature in books or just through learning with my friend.
Let's have a history check then.
And just so it's probably gonna roll advantage. I have advantage on information about Fey, Fiends, or Undead.
Yeah, Fey, Fiends, or Undead. I see a 10. But didn't roll twice.
Yeah, it didn't. Well, it's gonna be worse than 10, so.
Okay. You're a little bit overwhelmed right now. Your senses aren't their sharpest. You can only see in black and white. The smell of this whole place is kind of messing with your memory a little bit. You don't know this creature. You don't know what it is. But as you are really, really trying to focus, you kind of like are looking at its features and how it's built. And this creature looks fiendish in nature.
Oh gosh. Hey guys, I think this is another fiend or a fiend-ish creature. I don't know if it's a full fiend.
Does it speak fiendish?
Tempest would like to
Right.
ask the group, does anyone see the gem?
There is the gem in there. Can I push my face up against where the glass would be.
I like to look really hard and really closely from where we are.
I'll take a perception check from everyone with disadvantage because it's dim light. Uh, 12, 7, 17.
The second one didn't come up, but it should be a 19, so it's 19.
Alright. Everyone except... Ooh, wait, let's see if Tempest sees it. Come on. Oh, he does. Alright. Everyone except, Aravir is able to spot, kinda in the back corner of the room behind the sleeping creature, in what was once a fireplace, like a nice, really thick, strong stone fireplace, is a chest with an impressive lock on it.
I feel like this was made for our missing person. Okay, alright, so we've got a lock. The gem's probably in that chest.
So, what if we, instead of engage this thing, it's sleeping, can we somehow use whatever we have to sneak in and maybe Misty Step or Dimension Door or something out of there?
Could we maybe use Troy's grappling hook? Hook it on
Feel
the
like
ceiling and like lower down to like.
I mean, you could Misty Step back behind the... Can you Misty Step things back with you?
Just to tell you, it's like a full-size chest. Like, it's not like a...
Yeah, but I was wondering if she like touched it, if it would Misty Step back with her.
She can Dimension Door, if she can carry it.
It doesn't look like she could carry it though.
But not with her 9 strength.
What
Yeah.
about-
Does it look like
does-
somebody very strong could carry it?
And who would
Barry.
do that? The entire group looks at Barry.
Barry
Uh,
with Dimension Door.
Misty Step's a second level conjuration. I'm gonna rule that no, you cannot bring something with you. Only what's on you.
Barry, can you portal in there somehow? Maybe go invisible and portal in, portal out.
I mean, I could try.
And then, I mean, worst case scenario, we just bust in and fight the thing.
Tempest also has Dimension Door, if that helps anyone.
We do like a string of Dimension Doors or something? Confuse them a little bit?
So, in relation to the chest, is the creature like wrapped around it, or like do I have to step over its tail?
So this creature spans the entirety of the building and is in front of that fireplace. So you would have to step over it, essentially.
So my 8-foot tall
Unless you
gate might
portal
help.
the back behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than so. If I go invisible, I just hope it doesn't have a really good sense of smell, because it'll smell the beer on me. But if I go invisible and I have my boots of Elvenkind, so as long as I don't touch anything, I won't be heard. I might be able to get out of there with the Dimension Door.
You can't Dimension Door in and then out?
I mean, you're talking about using a whole lot of spells. That
Tempest can
That would
also
get-
avoiding a
levitate.
whole lot of fighting.
You can also
Sure.
levitate.
So how do we think Tempest might be our best bet on this one?
You can cast levitate on someone. I'm just giving you options.
Yeah, Barry, you could levitate in there invisible and then dimension door the chest out.
I like that.
Come on, guys, let's put our snail strategy.
That
In
sounds
gear
like a
here.
really good idea.
Okay, let's try it.
It's
Okay.
floating time.
All right. So are you going in through the door, or are you gonna try and fit through the window?
Is the doors closed? I assume.
The door
No,
is
it's
not
just
there.
a gaping hole.
Oh, I'll probably go through the door. Then.
Yeah, let's have the 8-foot tall furball go through the gaping hole.
Before he does that, I just want to take a quick peek at the door and make sure there's not any traps. I don't know if this thing would set traps,
Yeah,
but just in case.
Go ahead and roll perception.
Phrasing.
That is not going to help at all. Also not one.
No, you don't. You don't see anything. You're too excited about that.
Barry, you're safe.
Perfect.
100%.
Okay.
Just go for it.
You give a cursory glance, and you think that like this plan is too brilliant to be thwarted by anything.
Well, it worked for the snails, so.
Okay. I'll trust you, poofers. All right. Who's casting levitate on me?
Tempest is.
Okay.
So he kind of like touches you, and you float a few feet off the ground, and then he like pushes you.
Yep. And then I
Toward
kind of like catch my hands on the door, and then I kind of pull myself in.
I would like an acrobatics check from you to see how well you can control yourself, and I believe you have disadvantage on checks right now.
I do.
Are you
Did he
still?
get
Are you
minus
still
1 point of
hungover?
exhaustion for resting?
No.
Well,
not yet.
actually,
Yeah.
She said no.
oh,
She's still punishing you.
You're still
sad
hungover.
air horn. God
Don't-
damn it.
Don't do
Oh, and you
drugs.
still have the
Wah, wah.
chance of spell failure. Do you remember that was?
That's a third. That's 3 levels of exhaustion. I'm at 2.
no, I attached an additional one on you.
You
As a
are so
consequence.
horrible.
I thought that was.
He took drugs.
He should be dead.
to not die.
Oh my god.
It was that.
There
or
were
bad.
so many solutions. I'm not gonna like take this abuse that he didn't have another option because there were like 5.
I was
I mean,
goaded into it by
There's
the
different
DM.
levels of drugs, you know?
Oh no. Oh no, Barry.
5.
It's
All
right.
I got a DPK now.
No, let's make a check. Is this spell concentration? Do I have to concentrate on this if it's a race? Yeah, I think I do. Alright. That's unfortunate. Alright. So you are kind of like making a bit of a ruckus as you're floating around the top, you like slam into the wall a little bit and like send some rubble down. You like hit the rafters and make some creaky sounds. And this creature begins to stir. What is the rest of the party doing right now?
I would like to. So I'm kind of like I'm not visible in the door, but I'm kind of like, peeking through the door with my back to the threshold. So I'm like peeking around to watch Barry and see what happens, and I'm gonna draw my sword.
Okay.
Peeking through the window, like, try not to be seen, but, like, so I can see Barry, and also so I can shoot spells through the window.
Alright, so everyone is preparing for battle. Oof. Bjorn's invisible, isn't he? Turn invisible?
Yes.
Yep.
So this creature's beginning to stir, and it wakes up, and you see it kind of like raise its head as it looks, or it doesn't look because its eyes are covered. It kind of like seems to be sniffing out for something. And at this moment, let's see how fast he can react.
Did I call it or what?
What? Oh, you're lucky. Tempest very quickly drops the levitate spell on you, and you crash to the floor as he casts another spell on this creature. And it seems to sort of temporarily lose its bearings, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw to see how fast you can get to that chest.
10? Question mark?
Okay, that's fine.
Is it?
So Viren, you crash to the floor, and the creature, as it's trying to it's lost its bearings, and it is desperately trying to figure out where it's going. Tempest is very quickly backing up after having snuck in and touched the creature, and it's backing up towards the door again. You scurry over to the chest, and right as you touch it and begin to cast Dimension Door to get out, it swings around and thrashes into you with its tail, knocking the breath out of you but throwing you over the chest. You can choose to stay and try and fight, or you can Dimension Door out right now. But you're taking damage, essentially.
You should probably Dimension Door out.
Well, I'm still invisible.
You are, but it's.
But he doesn't see.
And he smells.
He doesn't look.
You stinky.
Yeah, I'm very stinky.
It seems like he is under the effects of whatever Tempest cast and is trying to get out of that and is preparing to fight whatever is disturbed in its resting place.
I am. Can I cast 2 spells?
No.
Because I was thinking of telling its command to heal.
You can cast one spell.
How far away is the door?
20 feet-ish.
How far's the chest?
He has been thrown over the chest after taking a tail to the chest.
So hold on, is the door?
So it's here's the building.
Yeah.
The fireplace is over here. That's where Viren is, and the door is right here,
Okay, and the
Can he-
chest is where?
where Viren is. And the
So
creature's-
can he grab it and go?
Yes, that is his option, or he can stay and fight.
Well, yeah, I'll tell. Can I cast command to have it heal, hold still, which is a Wisdom 16 saving, and then I'm gonna run for the door. Which, well, I'm gonna take the chest. Why can't I take the chest with me?
Because it's heavy as F.
I'm big. I'm 8 feet tall. I'm considered large.
Doesn't understand your language, or if your command is directly harmful to it. Okay. Wisdom saving throw. What is your DC? What's the DC?
16.
Alright, it actually failed, which is amazing. So you see it kind of freeze in place as it's now lost in its senses, and unable to move for about 6 seconds. And you have to drag this very heavy chest across the floor. I will need a strength check with disadvantage.
Hoovers is gonna run in and help him.
Well, wait. Can I shoot my grappling hook to help pull the chest?
Yeah, but there's a huge creature in the way, so your line of sight's kind of effed.
Okay.
Is the window kind of near? Am I on
The
the side
chest
with the
is-
window?
No, it's on the other side. The chest is too large to go through the window, if that's what you're hoping.
Gotcha. Why don't I just break down the wall? I just run through the wall.
Because it's a stone wall.
Hmm.
It takes a minute to guess that.
You have literally 6 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll do a strength check.
Normal, since Poofers has sprinted up to help you. Yep. Oh, that was a
13.
strength save, yeah.
Oh.
Are you proficient in strength saves?
No.
Okay, 13 is fine then, that's the same. It is with tremendous difficulty that you, with Pooper's help, begin to slowly drag this chest across the floor. You get about halfway through the building, before the creature is freed from its spell, and I need initiative.
Damn it.
Oh, and you took damage from that tail swipe. I need to make a con save from that.
just for clarification, something Todd just brought up. I wouldn't have been able to take the chest with me in Dimension Door, right?
You can bring things with you in Dimension Door, I think.
But I thought that you said that I'd either have to try and drag it out or Dimension Door without the chest.
No, she
it's a
said
Dimension
with
Door
it.
it
Oh.
out.
Well, then I would have done that.
Well, do it now.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Do it.
Alright, but you can
Dude,
bring the
just do
chest
it
or
now.
you can bring poofers.
I think anything that I can carry plus a second person.
You can bring along objects as long as that weight doesn't exceed what you can carry. There's a formula for it. It can bring one. You can also bring one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. Where are you bringing this chest? You could go up to 400 feet away, 500 feet away.
I'm gonna go back to that place where our guide paused us at.
All right, so like in an alley, kind of.
Yeah.
The rest of you, as you're readying your weapons, see this creature turn to face all of you as it's now caught your scent. Viren and Poofer and the Poofers in the chest to disappear. What are Erebir and Troy doing?
I
with
grab
Tempest?
Erebir. I grab Erebir's hand and message him, "Let's go now," and just start running back to the direction paused at.
Wait, so Barry and Poofer's Dimension Door?
Yeah.
Mhm.
we left.
We saw that. We saw that happen. So I would assume that they're going back to where we have been before, because where else would they be going?
As soon as he grabs my hand, we Dimension Door out.
All right,
Cool.
leave Tempest behind, everyone.
Yeah, and our guide.
The guy did not go up that far, for sure. All right, shit. Well, let me see what I can do. Not much, honestly. He's gonna have to waste a 4th level and also Dimension Door out. Viren, I still need that con save from when you took the tail swipe.
Yeah.
Thirteen. Does not cut it. So you begin by taking 14 piercing damage from the tail that bashed into you. And in addition to that, you suffer an infernal festering wound where the kind of like
Ooh.
spines on its tail pierce you. And you kind of like fight through the pain to get through the Dimension Door with Poofers. And once you arrive at your destination, back up against the wall as this wound festers, dealing an additional 14 damage to you. The moment that Tempest arrives back through the Dimension Door, reuniting with the group, he rushes up and begins tending to your wound with his medicine kit, herbal, whatever, first aid kit.
Herbal tea.
Yeah. This is just tea. This is just leaf water.
Don't worry, he has some essential oils, Barry.
How could someone?
Essential oils. He rolls out a little carpet bag of essential oils.
You know what? He decides not to treat him because you guys are being jerks.
Then he just literally just hands me tea. Walk it off.
Yeah, he does an okay job of patching you up, but you feel like if you take another hit, that wound might reopen.
Fun.
Barry, are you okay?
Where did the tail hit me? Exactly? In my ribs or something?
Yeah.
Not great, but that ghoulish creature in there did a pretty good job on me.
I can heal. He can also heal with his healing kit. Let me check the features. He took the healer feature. 1d6 plus 4. So you'll get 7 HP back. You're welcome.
I'd like to look around the alley and see if it's relatively secure.
There's a thrashing monster across the square, destroying his home further as he barrels out and begins kind of looking around, trying to track whatever intruders there were down. It's like got its nose in the air and is sniffing around. Tempest, after very quickly patching up Viren, is has his back to the wall and is like looking over and seems to be concentrating on a spell.
I want to go to Miriam. Okay, Miriam, time to go. Where do we go that's relatively
He's
safer
not-
than this
Is he
one?
with us?
Yeah, he's just kind of sitting there watching.
Okay, where's a safer spot than this? Next stop. Let's go.
He sighs and looks at the chest.
Okay.
Hoopers looks at the chest and then points at the lock and shrugs and is like, "We're gonna have to carry this with 2 people."
You can carry it or you can leave it behind and come back.
Yeah, but the thing might take it back. It likes things.
Alright, so he sighs and kind of like begins to move forward and waits to see if you're gonna follow him before he climbs up onto one of the rooftops and begins making his way away from this creature as it's kind of blindly flailing around, roaring and alerting everything else in the proximity that something is happening.
Since Barry's hurt, I guess Troy and Poopers are gonna have to work to pull this chest up onto the rooftop.
Alright, I will need another stealth check from everyone. As well as a strength check with advantage from one of you.
Could I cast my cantrip Mending to see if I can mend my wound?
That does not work on biological material.
I will do the strength check.
Didn't
I,
do that.
I would like
An
to
object,
touch
not a creature.
Barry's wound and use cure wounds for him.
Yeah, I've people have tried to use this before. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you can cure wounds, and that's fine.
Okay, so I rolled a 24 for stealth plus 10. Do we still have pass without a trace?
Yeah, right.
No, okay, so it's just
No.
24. And then my strength was a mod 20.
All right.
Barry, you get plus 10 healing.
Right.
Xavier.
And let's see. I will need stealth checks from the rest of you.
Yeah, I got a nat 1 on mine.
That's big oof. Tempest didn't do well either.
Oh boy.
Baron did great. Wow, you are in the heat of the moment. Not 20.
Still like
for
half
Baron.
invisible.
Yeah. Erebir, yours. Oh
So
no,
our
you didn't.
nat 1 and our nat 20 just cancel each other out.
Mine
right?
was a 15 for stealth.
Okay, quite. You also had a 5. So.
Yeah, well, I had 24.
Tempest seems to be very distracted, looking back to continue casting the spell. And that seems to be kind of guarding your escape. Troy trips over himself as you are pulling the chest up onto the rooftop and creates a very loud noise, and you all hear several, like the approaching of lots of feet and roars as several creatures are approaching the square to respond to this tremendous amounts of noise. That said, you guys are working together fairly well to get this chest going. You're in the heat of the moment, a lot adrenaline's rushing, and you kind of sprint away after you're able to recover. Troy is going to take a little bit of damage because he fell off a roof, but not much. Let's see, where's this tab? You take 6 bludgeoning damage, and you guys make your escape. The creatures that are approaching seem to be overwhelmed with the presence of each other and the rampaging monster dog thing that's going around. It's hard to, like, of the things making noise here, you guys are still one of the quieter ones. And you drag the chest across the rooftops for some time until you feel like you've made a decent enough escape to stop and catch your breath.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Okay, well,
Okay.
But Poofers, you feel like dragging this chest more is not gonna, like,
I
you
don't
can't
know
keep
if
it
I
up.
can drag this chest anymore. We may
Where-
just want to try breaking in.
is
Let's-
Magnus.
Try
Mhm.
opening it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and so I go like this and a little claw comes out. I'm like, okay, let me try this.
Alright. The moment you draw your claw towards that lock and you try and like put your claw in the lock, there is a magical barrier that stops you.
That's wonderful.
This
That's
is a
lovely.
magical lock.
Can I try casting Dispel Magic on it?
Let me look up the specifics.
Has anybody ever seen a lock like this? I have never dealt with a lock like this before.
You know who probably has? Magnus.
No, this seems very. And I like poke it, and there's like boom, boom. This does not seem like something Magnus would be good at.
What level are you casting Dispel Magic at?
Level 3.
Level 3 Dispel Magic versus this spell. Make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. Wait.
So a D20 plus 8.
Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check. Yeah.
That's a 13.
Why did you roll a wisdom save? Is that what I said?
Because it's a 20 plus 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
No, that makes sense. And double check what level this was. That is not high enough to break this spell.
Damn.
Tempe, have you seen this before? Do you know of anything that could do this?
He gets close and seems to take a look. And says, I don't know where the key would be specifically, but it looks like we need a complementary magic item to open this. And he says, I would ask our friend, but
I go up to Marion and I pull
But,
a little bit, and I'm like, I poke the lock. Hey, what is this?
he kneels down and like looks over it and then seems to think to himself for a few minutes, and then kind of like stops and like looks off into the distance and seems to either be thinking or like trying to sense something. Pulls out a piece of paper, writes something down, and like keeps it out, and then stands and beckons for you to follow him.
Do we take the chest?
Did he just draw a map of where it is?
You don't know.
Is he moving across rooftops? I guess I
Well,
should.
I am a skilled cartographer, so you sure I wouldn't know if he just drew a map?
I mean, you can try and like see what he's doing over his shoulder, but you probably won't like it.
How far away from the fiend are we?
You're about 500 feet away. You feel in pretty safe
That's-
distance.
We feel it's safe. Like, if
Yeah,
we
You know,
hide that
you do-
chest here, he's not gonna find it.
You do have that
Probably.
immovable rod. We could.
Is it smart enough to click a button?
And I'm pretty sure you can break out of it if your strength is really high.
The creature still seems to be rampaging up ahead in the square, and now that so many creatures have arrived, there's a bit of like a territorial war going on as they're all
Oops.
engaging each other. These creatures aren't like allied together; they are hostile toward
Yeah.
everything.
Maybe that's our
Okay.
strategy moving forward: is just get everybody else to kill each other.
We're on a rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything like? Is there like the side of another floor of a building or anything like that? Anything that we can back up to?
There might be like a chimney or something.
All right, I'm gonna drag the chest to the chimney, and I'm gonna try and make sure it's like not visible from. I'm gonna try and hide it as best I can from
Yeah,
the
okay.
street and things. Be like, okay, guys, I can't drag that with me the whole time. We're just gonna have to go follow him.
I mean, your
How
best.
far are we from the camp? From outside the city, from where we started.
You're pretty deep in the city right now. You've probably traveled like at least 45 minutes to an hour into the city to get to where you are. To Poofers, you feel like with the level of chaos that's going on up the street, this chest is probably safe for at least a short time.
All right. All right, let's go. And I start to follow Marion.
All right. He leads you not too far, but across some more rooftops before having to jump down and cross the street carefully. However, again, there's so much chaos going up that most of the creatures within the immediate area have kind of all moved that direction already, giving you a little bit of breathing room. And he leads you into what looks like was once an old library or something. Let me switch the page for you. Here we go.
Oh my, it's a puzzle.
The walls are covered in shelves that have a ton of books all over them that are in tatters, essentially. Most are just beyond repair, destroyed by moisture and age. But one mysterious thing, or several mysterious things, remain in this room. You are entering from the left through some large doors. On the far side of the room is a nice piano, sort of, on top of which there are a few knickknacks and a small, personal chest kind of thing sitting on the top. Oh, we have Baron Stubble arriving early.
Might be.
Awesome. Also, around the room are a number of levitating blue crystals that seem to just kind of turn in place. And on the floor, there are a series of tiles covered in symbols. Upon entrance, those are the things that you recognize.
I turn to Marion and I'm like, what the heck is this? He does nothing.
Oh, to Marion, I thought I heard Barry.
Yes, no, Marion.
I do nothing.
I was like, I don't know. He just shrugs and says, like,
Okay. Alright, guys. I'd like to go up and inspect one of the symbols on the floor. Without touching it. Just kind of look at it.
Sure, which one are you going to go look at?
This kind of, squarish one.
Alright, so you look closely, and, the symbols on the floor, are not, painted on. They seem to be sort of floating lights that waver ever so slightly, but they are each in a distinct shape that is unwavering. The lines don't shift around to make new shapes. They always, they might move an inch or two to the left or right, are always in their solid shape. As you kind of approach the tiles, the floating gem in the crystal rather in the middle seems to kind of turn to watch you.
Okay. Take a step back, and I'd like to go up to kind of work my way around the bottom of the room to the gem that's in the far corner, slowly. Is there anything that happens to me?
You get about right here before this crystal in the bottom left starts to glow menacingly.
Okay. I look at some of the debris on the floor, and I'd like to, pick up, I don't know, a book or something, and kind of hold it out into the path of the crystal.
How far are you holding it out?
An arm's length out.
Okay. Once your hand starts to enter that space, the gem starts to glow, and after a few seconds, it fires off a long silvery beam in that entire bottom row of the building that just destroys the bookshelves along the wall. You let go of the book and pull your hand back before it can get to you, and the book is just disintegrated where it stood, and all you see is ashes on the floor once the beam kind of disappears.
I look down at the book, and then I look to the party. I'm like, okay, guys, are you taking notes? Don't go there. Do not go there.
That was some very deadly reading.
So we can't go around, so somehow there's a way through it.
Hopefully.
Is there invisibility and levitate still in our bundle of tricks if we risk it, or I still have my grappling hook? If I'm assuming we're going for the chest on the piano, otherwise, what the heck are we doing here? I mean,
you could try your
Well-
grappling hook. You might lose your grappling hook.
You might lose your grab. Hold on, let's see if we can try and figure this out without getting silver beamed.
Oh yes,
Poofer's,
because puzzles are definitely something we're good at.
It'll be fine. Poofers goes up to this one that she thinks kind of looks like a fire on logs.
It almost
She
looks like
goes down to
pie
study.
aroma.
Could be pie aroma. I'm gonna guess it's fire. I don't know why they would make a puzzle about pie.
Why
The
would they?
librarians love pie. Okay, and she's gonna take her claw and she's going to scrape it against the stone to make some sparks that might shower on that.
So the
Wow.
moment you reach your paw over toward that,
I
this
don't reach it onto the tile.
toward.
I
Where
reach it
you-
kind of like I'm gonna stay in my tile and I'm going to scrape so there's some of the sparks fly onto
Oh.
that.
That's very clever. But no, nothing seems to happen from that.
Dang.
I am going to next to Tempe. What is that? Like a pot or something?
Yeah, there's like some just broken stuff around the room.
I'm gonna take like I don't know, like a vase handle or something. I'm gonna go over to Poofers. And I'm gonna put the
So just so you know, that is in the lay of the crystals range.
oh, do they?
So you have to like grab it as it starts to charge, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, quick grab. Okay, and I'm gonna go over to the Pyaroma, and I'm gonna place it on that Pyaroma bottom diagonal out there. So I'm kind of tossing it out there, kind of
So you
close to the
throw it
crystal.
out.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't leave the square, but you throw the pot onto the tile, and it shatters further.
Nothing happened. Got. I
At
was
this
hoping for
point,
pie.
yeah. At this point, Tempest looks carefully around the room, and points out 3 markings that seem to stand out to him.
Oh, we never look
We
at the ceiling.
never look at the ceiling.
You never look around the room.
We never look at the ceiling.
Okay, what are these symbols?
They're there. Okay. On the east wall, the right wall of the room, there is a single line. Yep. Like
Kinda
a tally mark. And on the south wall, there are 3 tally marks. And on the north wall, there are 7 tally marks.
Guys, do you think that tally marks correspond to the spores on these things? Like 1 can be this diagonal slash, and 2 can be the wispy winds. And I run down here. The wispy winds, and then 3. Look around. Oh, up here. The triangle right there. 3 marks. Maybe those are the things that we can step on. Who wants to try?
Well, so say the far wall on the chest is a single line. I wonder if they correspond with the direction we're allowed to go to.
Could, but hold on. So it was 1 on the east wall, 3 or 2 on the south wall.
It's so on the east wall on the right is 1, bottom is 3, and top is 7.
Top is 7. Okay, wait, hold on. 7.
It
What's
might
got
help to
7
draw.
slashes?
It might help to draw it out.
Ooh, it's that thing. Right. Let me. How do I ping?
The one in front of me has 7 markings,
How the heck do I ping?
but
You hold your left click.
Yeah, that's got 7. Okay. Okay, so south is 3, north is 7, the east is 1.
Alright. So you think you can move to a tile if it correlates with those in that direction? I feel like we tried one of these riddle quests before that was very similar to this. Didn't work out so well.
That's because I got really lucky. Oh, Baron moves on to the thing.
All right, you move on to that one, and
Yep, and I'm watching that crystal.
the crystal is facing you, but it's not charging up.
Oh, Barry, that was very ballsy of you.
I did one
Oh
of
my
those
gosh.
Indiana Jones, like kind of like hop, faith jumps.
Okay. So you can either go up to 7, right to 1, or down to 3. Where the heck are you gonna go?
Can I try hopping onto that next one? The one bottom right of me?
To the bottom right.
Diagonally bottom right. And if they charge
you
up,
can-
I'm gonna hop off to that the spot next to Aravir.
Yeah. So if you're doing a full step, you have to make a dex save, please.
Okay.
Wow. So 18. This crystal seems to charge aggressively faster than the other two. The moment that you like make a move and enter the space of this crystal, it is charging and ready to fire, and you just very barely jump out of the way back to that safe tile. As this
Barely.
crystal fight, I actually need Aravir to also make a dex save because she's in the way. And Tempest.
Sorry, guys.
Poor Tempe. Aravir jumps out of the way. Tempest takes the hit. Where's my dice roller? For some damage. As this, he seems to kind of take some like burning effects from the blast of this crystal as it shoots off in the direction that Viren was standing, all the way to the wall where there's like a nice sizzle mark on the wall now. So no, that tile was not safe.
That tile was not safe.
Sorry.
I'll even mark it for you.
Thank you. Can I step? Maybe the first step is after you take it. So let's see here. How many is that in front of me? Is that square 7?
The one
It's
directly
8.
to the right of you has 8 on it.
8
Ooh.
marks. Maybe 1 plus 7. 8. Maybe just try sticking
So if
a
you
toe
combined
out
those,
first.
I could put a little toe out. Take off my boot. Just put
So
put
we're-
a little pinky toe out there.
For the sake of how this puzzle's working, if you step on the wrong tile, you're making a dex save.
Okay. Duly noted.
So you moving forward to that right one?
Yeah.
Move your character so I know for sure.
You locking me in?
Yeah. The crystal is still facing you, but it does not charge up.
Okay, I don't understand this at all, but it worked.
Okay, well, let's see if your friend can figure it out.
Is it 1 plus 7? Does that mean that I should go up in turn and then 5? But that would mean that I would go down?
Tempest, with a very low roll, just says maybe the numbers indicate directions.
Well, that's good news. I mean, I said that. Thanks,
Well,
Tempest.
How does that make any sense with what we just did? I still don't understand that.
Well, Baron had stepped on a tile that had 1 mark on it.
Yes. And then he stepped to the east for
And the-
1.8.
One is on the east wall.
The ghost of Magnus is saying, move diagonal up and right.
Wow, who said that? That was so
The
weird.
only problem is that I didn't do that and I didn't die. So,
Uh,
let's see here. So, okay. If it means maybe if you're stepping on it, that's the direction that you're supposed to go. So if it's 8 plus, or I'm sorry, if it's 8, so it's 7 plus 1, I should go diagonally right. So I should jump to...
That tile is safe.
Oh, thank God. Now what? What are you on, Len? So, Barry, go east.
Also safe.
And what is he on now? Because I have no memory. 3. Down.
Also safe.
Oh, I see.
And
again,
as you get
down
close
again,
to the
down
gem,
again.
you hear a very large, like, nice humming sound that is just pure energy. Wow, that was a large jump you just made. Can you redo that for me? Yeah? Okay. And then where do you go?
So it's 6, right? That's 6. So then it's 2 3s. Right?
You can't teleport. You have to move.
I have
an
to
adjacent tile.
pause and then pause. Okay.
Which one
okay.
are? Sorry, which one are you on? Can you move for a second?
Sure.
Okay.
Make a dex save. Ooh, that was a big fail.
Crispy.
You take 13 fire damage as the gem blasts you point blank.
what
And you
did we
hop
do
back to
wrong?
the safe tile.
Barry, you went down, but the number you're on is
The number I'm on
2,
is
3,
6.
4. No, it's 4.
Is it 4?
No, he's
Yes.
on 6.
Oh no, it's 4.
Oh, he's on 4. He's on 4. You're right. You're totally
Yeah.
right.
Son of a gun. I thought it was 6.
So you should go down to the right. Diagonal to the 2.
Yeah.
Make a dex save, please.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm confused again because that's a pattern we found.
I think that you should draw it out, as I said. If there are 8 directions that you can move from your current tile, and you know what 3 of the directions mean, or what number they're associated with, rather, that is another 9 fire damage to you.
At this point, I'm kind of putting out flames on my clothes, and I'm gonna cast a level 2 Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
I got it. It's a goddamn clock and we didn't look at the ceiling. Okay. Alright, Barry, I know where you should go. Go. Bottom left, Barry, you can do it. Bottom left.
He's hurt. He's limping over slowly. That is safe.
Bottom right. Right. This one's an 8, yeah. Up
Yeah.
and to the right.
To the other 8. And to
Up
the
and to
1.
the right.
Yep.
And then to the piano.
You made it over there without angering the gem again.
About pissing it off more.
The moment you kind of step on this side of the puzzle, all of the lights on the floor begin to dim.
You did it, Barry! Yay!
Oh, well, that's good.
Nice.
My outfit's a little bit ashy, but I made it.
Technically. On the piano, there are a few very old weathered books that are damp and just destroyed. In that chest, though, not only is there a kind of a key that has a very mild luminosity to it, but there is 400 gold pieces.
Hey.
Well, 400 gold worth of rain, more accurate.
I was like, they used gold at some point.
Whatever that converts to, which I'll do
So-
in a second.
There's a key in there, guys.
That
Should
must
we-
be. Hey, and I turned to Marion. I'm like, how did you know that this would
That
where the key was?
That's what I'm saying. What are we doing here? I telepathically message everybody. I feel like we're being led. Like we're just the.
We're doing their dirty work.
Or the bomb squad.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be able to make it through this city at all without him.
That's true. Okay, let's continue being puppets.
You guys
Don't
can
look a
leave
gift
if
horse
you
in the
want.
mouth.
No one is forcing you to stay here.
I said that's true. Let's continue being puppets.
All right.
We just need to know that.
So, would you like to continue gem hunting or head back toward camp?
Well, shouldn't... I'm assuming
Let's
that's
go to
after
the
we go open up that
chest.
chest, right?
Oh yeah, I guess that's
It
one
gets the
step.
gem.
I mean, that's the thing.
Sure.
Actually, in that library, I'd like to see if there are any books that still have anything in them, like that's readable. And not by me. Like they can be in a different language. I'm just looking for anything that still has words that might be read by
I
somebody,
think that's an intact book.
not
Yeah.
destroyed.
Can I get an investigation check?
What's the one on the piano?
Decoration. Wow. You find one book that is in surprisingly good shape and one that is in salvageable but not good shape. And you may take both. As soon as the power of that was lighting up the floor went out, these giant crystals that were levitating and turning around also seem to die and shatter to the ground, clatter to the ground. They don't shatter though. Just as a note. All right, you make your way. At this point, the commotion up ahead has started to die down. Things are settling down. Creatures are kind of returning on their normal patrols. You have just enough time to make it.
Sorry, did we take that note? Did we take that stuff?
You-
Okay.
I would assume you did.
Okay.
I assume Poofers took the books, you took the key and the
Yep.
ran. You have just enough time to make it back to the chest as the creatures are returning. Your way back, if you choose to go back, you'll probably have to make another stealth check. But you made it to the chest fine. I assume you used the key. Alright, you open the chest and inside there is some very fine cloth and silk that seems to be providing a sort of bed for this singular glowing red gem that feels very warm to the touch.
Ooh, fire! I like warm things, but who doesn't have one yet? Who's not holding on to one yet?
Roy and Barry.
Holding
Troy
one.
doesn't have one?
Oh, Troy
do.
has the gray one. That's right.
I've got-
Barry doesn't have
I
one.
took-
Barry, you earned this one.
And it's warm.
I'll take... I mean, I have my liquid warmth, but sure, I'll take a little bit more.
All right.
Also, I would like to hand the very nice cloth and hand it to Troy and be like, new nice napkin you have there.
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh, dainty.
Thank you.
He just got an upgrade to his gear.
I cast aside my old tattered napkin.
Just got that embroidered. You're just throwing it away. Would you like to go back to camp or continue?
How's everybody doing? How are you guys doing on your spells? I'm totally fine.
Tempest has a few healing spell slots left.
I
if
know
someone
that
wants
both
to be healed.
Erebir and I have used level 4 spells. I've used a bunch of utility spells.
Maybe
I'm
we should go
good on
back.
spells.
Tempest is good on spells too.
Shit. I am just gimped this whole campaign.
Do you want a heal?
No, it's not even the heals, it's the spell slots, and I am
Welcome
regretting
to
taking drugs.
balance. Oh, good.
Oh.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, I'll take a heal. Let me see here what my spell
We can
slots
take
look
a
like.
short rest too. We can take an hour rest.
Not in the city, you can't. I mean, you can
Yeah.
try.
We left the chest alone for an hour. It's fine.
I've done
I'm
it
gonna
for like 10 minutes.
Oh, we were pretty fast.
I can keep going. I used a 3rd and a 4th level spell, and then used a 2nd, and then like some cantrips. So I'm okay, but I would like a heal, please.
I'm on it. For you.
Poofers gives you a hug, and she's like, "You are mentally healed."
19 plus something.
Well, that'll fill me up.
23.
Fill her up.
23 total.
Nice.
Nice. All right, I'm full HP.
Feeling a
Uh,
little better, Barry?
Yeah, feeling better. And then I
right.
grip my Stein, and I like, oh yeah, I can grip it better. Okay, cool, we're good.
You guys want to take a quick break?
Seems like a
Yes.
good break point. All right, guys, we'll be back.
Welcome back. Hi. Alright, you guys just got the fire gem from that chest. Congratulations to remain. Did we decide to not rest and continue on?
It seems like that's the case.
Okay. Excellent. In that case, Marion stops for a second and kind of like looks out into the distance again, nods to himself, and continues to lead you on to another part of the city. Can I get a stealth check from everyone again?
Nat 1.
Okay. Oof.
Mod 20.
11.
This is not great, you guys.
We still have pass
Oh, no.
without a trace.
No, that stopped a long time ago.
And-
Poopers and Tempest seem to just be way out of their element right now. Like, it's just not going well. Like, at one point, like, Tempest's cloak drops off and he's like, pulls it up. He blows. But every time you, like, make a wrong step and cause a lot of noise, Marion looks back, like, really angry at you two. And you're just kind of, like, in the back trying to nervously laugh it off, and then you laugh out loud by accident. You definitely catch the attention of a monster, and it seems to be making its way toward you. It's some kind of creature that relies heavily on its back legs, but think of like the structure of a wyvern, but it's not a wyvern in that it's like its 2 feet are like on its wings kind of deal. It's like that, and it starts to edge toward you ever so carefully, as fast as it can go, before a different creature spots that creature rushing and pummels into it, and they begin a terrible fight as you guys dash away.
There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, it's actually
We are
quite
the little
horrifying.
baby fish.
You are splattered with blood, like dark purple blood from that first creature. It's brutal. You rush out of there to avoid any further conflict. When you arrive at what looks like kind of like an old school or an old college that might have been present in this city, this is where, after like entering this kind of courtyard that is surrounded by what look like sort of academic buildings, this is where Marion stops. This is as far as they've been able to locate the next one. I assume
You're up,
that
Barry.
Barry kind of like pings for it, right?
Yeah.
So you ping for it, and in kind of the back of this courtyard, there's a smallish building which you approach. Look through the dusty old windows and see nothing of note inside. So you push the door open quietly and enter and close it behind you carefully to make sure nothing can follow you in. Let me switch the page for you. Oh, wait, I'm gonna switch you to this page just so you can. No, I'm not. That's fine. I'll just go on this one. Now this looks to be some sort of old alchemy lab. In the kind of center of the small room, there is a stone panel that raises up from the ground, and directly on the other side of that is a glass encased, still in remarkably good condition, a glass encased collection of alchemical equipment. On the left is a series of bottles and vials that end in a sort of like a drippy pipe that would drip down into a bowl underneath that. But there's like a blocker at the end of the drippy pipe. On the right side are another series of bottles and vials that feed into the bowl. And the last thing you notice is on the far side of the room, in the wall, is that kind of double diamond-looking engraving with the smaller symbols in some of the corners of it. The bottom picture is what appears on the panel.
Okay. Man, Kelly would love this place.
The bottom 8 squares all seem to be buttons. The top bigger square with like the scratchy things on it are not. It's like it looks to be some kind of message or something.
So, there's that engraving of the double diamonds on the far wall.
Yes.
And
So
we
you're
can
like
make out
standing.
the little symbols.
Yes.
I look at the ceiling.
It is an old ceiling.
Yeah, anything else around the room?
Yeah, I
Let's
look
have a
at all the
perception
walls.
check, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, what check?
Perception.
Nat 20! The puzzle solves itself and we all go home.
All right. Wow, you guys all rolled really well for that. The lowest is a 15.
27.
So, you look carefully around the room, having learned your lesson from the last room, and there seems to be very little else of note other than some like old books and old like desks and stuff in here. You notice that the symbols on the wall engraving match up to the buttons, and you can deduce that there is some connection between the message on the panel and the diagram on the wall.
Message on the panel. Ooh. I mean, the panel has those scratches at angles. Maybe we have to follow the angles?
You also look around the room, and there doesn't seem to be anything of like notable danger like the crystals were.
Okay. I push the far right squiggly W.
All right, so the first line of the... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Clear. The first line down here lights up in a sort of dimmish whitey glow.
Okay. And then I push. Let's go for. I don't know. What do you guys think?
What about
Oh,
the
I'm
like
sorry,
square
one more thing.
box-looking button?
One more thing. When you pressed that bluish W button, the equipment on the left of the alchemy set filled up in a liquid of that same color, kind of glowing, but it is stopped from pouring into the bowl by that stopper.
Oh boy.
There is one more thing I forgot to mention, I believe. Oh, no, there isn't. Never mind. I did say it. Oh yeah, no, there it is. Over the alchemy equipment in the panel, there is an artificial light source illuminating it. You don't know where it's coming from, it's just shining down on.
And it was on when we came in.
Yes.
Okay. I am going to push the red button.
Okay. As you push the red button, the right set of the alchemical equipment fills with a reddish glowing liquid and fills the bowl. And as soon as that bowl is full, the stopper, stopping the bluish liquid, releases, and that seems to feed into the red. And as it does so, this mixture, the solution, glows a very powerful, very, very powerful red, like something has happened to enhance that the power of that red liquid before all of it drains out. And the second line right here lights up.
I don't understand this.
Oops.
Oh, I wonder where it goes.
I hate Roll20. Have I ever said that before? Here we go.
The dashes. This is so confusing. Blue. I hit the blue squiggly. That looks like a water drop.
All right. So the left side of the alchemical equipment fills up, but the lights on the diagram disappear.
Ugh. I hit the blue squiggly and the red again. In order.
So the dark blue liquid has already filled up the left side of the equipment. Which other button are you pressing?
Let's do the black one on the left.
All right. Interestingly, when the bowl is filled with the blackish liquid, the dark blue drips into it, and the black seems to glow with greater and greater intensity. Like that is also powered.
Okay, so
And then it drains away.
does anything light up on the diagram?
Nope.
I'm just shooting in the dark here. Anybody else have any ideas?
Let's see here. Well, it looks like there's the potential that you would go white symbol to yellow symbol. And I'm curious if instead of going blue, maybe you were supposed, instead of on the left side, you're supposed to go black.
I don't know. Push him.
Okay. Can I hit the white symbol?
Okay. So the left side of the equipment fills up with white.
Cool. And then yellow?
Yellow. All right, so the bowl fills up with yellow, and then the white drips into the yellow, and there doesn't seem to be kind of any reaction at all.
So we've had two that are reactions. What are the two that
And
are
then it
reacting?
drains out.
It's waves and then fire.
Are these the same elements as the gems we're collecting? Like necrotic, fire, water, whatever.
Heart. Are we making Captain Planet?
Yeah, they could be.
Well, are they like opposite type ones?
They
Like-
could
can-
represent elements.
They could. So the wave and the fire.
that had a reaction.
Air and
I'd
fire.
say that those are.
Let's see.
So
here,
what
and
about
then
the black and the white? I'm assuming black is necrotic and white
black?
is.
Black reacted already with the water drop.
We can probably assume that the white is probably some kind of holy symbol.
So,
Oh, so white
to clarify,
and
Tempest says, like, it seems like you can just experiment with these, and there might be some relationships of interest to discover.
I smack the
gray. Do the white and
white
the gray.
one and then the purple one.
Okay. As the white drips into the purple, there does not seem to be much of a reaction.
Can we try yellow and blue?
Yellow and blue.
Electricity and water?
So the dark blue or the light blue?
Dark blue, the water drop.
Okay. There is no discernible reaction between these either.
So we've already found the light blue and the fire, and the dark blue and the black. So what remains? We've
I
got
would like
yellow and purple.
To try
I would
the
like to-
white and the gray,
White and the gray. Okay.
the two next to each other.
Just one second. Those two. Sorry, one second. I have lost my train of thought here. Here we go. White and the gray have no discernible reaction.
I would like to try gray and purple.
Also, no discernible reaction.
Purple and yellow.
Purple and yellow. Alright, you guys are shouting out a lot. Let me just pull up my key to be extra sure. Okay. Purple and yellow. Where did I write this down? So Purple and yellow have no reaction.
Okay, then yellow and gray.
I think Erebir tried that one.
Oh, interesting. Purple and gray.
Yellow into gray, and not gray into yellow. Yellow into gray produces an empowering reaction for the gray.
Crap, I don't remember what order I did these in. Hold on.
We're taking notes.
Wait, does that mean that? Hold on. Which one did we hit second? That produced the reaction.
We hit light blue and then red.
So that would mean red goes into light blue.
You have poured light blue into red, and that produced an empowering reaction.
That is incorrect. We had light blue first and then poured red into it.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
You
we
poured-
did. We
you
100% did. The first one I done was light blue.
Listen to me, please. You put light blue in the left side of the equipment, and then red, and the left drips into the right. I remember because the first one you said was I clicked the W, and that put it into the left, which drips into red, and that empowered the red. It had a ferocious glowing
So
red.
it's not which one we hit first. It's
Whatever
the
you
side
hit-
that it's on?
Whatever you hit first will be the one that is pouring into the second one.
Okay. That is very confusing. Okay, so
I don't
let's
think
see
it's
here.
confusing.
Yeah, well, that's good for you. Okay, light blue into red, dark blue into black, yellow into gray. That means we're missing white and purple. So I will hit white first, then purple. I don't remember which order we've done this in.
That does nothing. But the
Purple, then
reverse-
white.
Yes, that empowers the white.
Okay, so we found all of them have been used.
And what does the scratchy thing do again?
I don't exactly know.
I think maybe we should try and figure that part out as well.
Well, I was using it initially because I thought that if you, like, I saw that one big up diagonal, so I pushed the W because that seemed to match the angle that the scratch was at. So that's kind of what I've been going for, but I don't really know.
Tempest proposes that if these are representing elements, that you try and mix opposing elements.
I think we've mixed them all.
You have not done a single-
What about fire and water?
We did light blue into red, which I assume is
Well,
water and fire.
light blue is wind. The dark blue looks like a water drop, so
Okay, go for it.
let's
All
do
right,
that
so
one.
you mix water into fire, and that produces a momentarily violent reaction before it seems to dull both of them down and drain away. And when the water and fire are mixed, this line here on the panel lights up.
Ooh. Okay. Does the gray represent like stone or earth? Is that what that's supposed to depict? Is that what we're guessing?
It matches in color the gray gem that you have.
Which is like a physical.
Gotcha. Then what's the opposite of psychic? I would assume
Physical.
physical.
Psychic
So-
into physical or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do that, psychic into physical, this one lights up.
And I would assume holy against some kind of, I'm assuming necrotic, black.
That lights up this line,
And then that would just leave the two remaining.
which would light up this line.
A
So in that, you have discovered all of the elemental opposites. But it seems like you have uncovered a portion of the complements.
right. So we got to figure out the complements and do. Okay.
We have figured out 4 of the complements. Light blue into red was 1, dark blue into black was one, yellow into gray was one, and purple into white was one. What other ones are there?
I/Tempest will point out that the diagram on the wall is not perfect. There is a break here, as well as here.
Oh, does that mean that is it going around on a track? So it goes like wind, fire, electricity to stone.
Are you pressing the buttons in these orders?
Sure.
Yeah. So pressing wind lights up
Yeah,
this
that's
line,
one,
and then fire. And then if you press fire again, it will light up this one. Fire to lightning. Lightning will end up here. Fire poured into lightning seems to empower lightning.
Right.
And then you press lightning again, which I would assume goes to here. And then you press physical. Lightning into physical empowers the physical.
Oh, we're on fire. All right, let's hit physical again. And then take it around to water.
Which, by the way, just for posterity, it's technically cold, not water.
Cold. Sorry.
Yes.
The blue water drop threw me off a little there.
No, I know. I found the best symbols I could.
Noted. Should have made it an ice cube.
Sorry.
And then let's keep going around that racetrack.
So water or cold
Yep.
seems to empower necrotic.
Yep.
Necrotic seems to empower psychic, and psychic
Take it
seems
on
to
home.
empower radiant. And as that whole diagram is highlighted in light, the artificial light that was above the panel, whatever was holding it up there, like a piece of glass or something, shatters, and a yellow gem patters onto the panel.
Well, that was
Pick up the
complicated,
yellow
but we
gem.
got it.
I still don't understand. I'll just take your word for it, Barry. Good job. Pat him on the back.
Well, when you've seen as many symbols as I have in my day, you just get it done.
It's a whole lot of symbols.
But it's
Tempest notes that it might be worthwhile making note of complements and opposites.
Are you gonna start getting into that?
It might be useful.
All right. I mean, okay. Apparently, we now have our Pokemon elements.
Tempe
She's
can
super
hold
effective.
the Yellowstone. I give the
Hinting
Yellowstone to Tempe to hold.
Oh,
That's-
poor Troy.
I think
Troy has
I
one.
think
Troy has one.
Who doesn't have one?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Oh, shit. What were you saying? Shit.
no, I think she's hinting at the boss fight, noting the compliments. We're gonna need to boost our stone attacks or something.
It's one possibility. All right. Do you want to go back to camp, or are you going for the third and final gem?
Well, nobody died, so I don't think anything really changed, right? We didn't use any spells or anything, so
Let's keep going.
let's keep going.
All right. This third one, I need one more stealth check, please.
Say it one more time.
One more stealth check, please. God, our stealth checks have just been so bad.
23 is excellent. That makes up for my nat one earlier.
Okay, their perception checks are worse. So you guys are kind of loud this time, but amazingly not loud enough to attract the attention of things that are just more interested in each other right now. As you make your way to one of the edges of the city, where there's far fewer buildings, and instead you walk through a sort of field that has been it looks like it's been torched and salted almost. there may have been a field here once, farms maybe. But Marianne leads you further away from the buildings and down this path that starts to take a downward slope. And you approach what looks like a series of mausoleums surrounded by vast spans of graveyards. Interestingly, actually, let's have a perception check for this. All right, Viren and Aradir, as you're kind of walking through these somber, just barren, desolate wastelands of unmarked graves, or graves whose names have been just weathered away with time, you notice with some interest that one of the graves kind of nearby the road is unmarked and is marked only with like a wooden plank that has been stuck into the ground, but it has some white lilies laid on it, whereas all the other graves in sight are completely barren.
They all have my name.
Yes. As you continue down this path, it slopes down into what looks like a cave and takes a turn. And as you round the bend, there is a kind of like straight shot of tunnel that continues sloping downwards, but the floor here is covered to corner with a series of fields of lilies, the first of which have a distinct red hue to them. This place is very well lit, not only from the glow of the lilies on the floor, but also by a series of floating paper lanterns that seem to be glowing all sorts of different colors. In fact, those that you have seen in the previous room. The air is kind of scattered with these multicolored paper lanterns. Following the field of red lilies, you can see farther in is a field of light blue lilies. And beyond that, there are more colors, but we'll just deal with the first two for now.
Maybe they're getting a big kind of elemental vibe from this. Also, where are they getting these paper lanterns? This place seems like it's almost taken care of, right? Everything else we've seen is pretty dead, stinky.
It does seem something similar to the elements we were dealing with earlier that seems like there may be a pattern of some kind.
Are there any monsters trudging around here?
None that you can see, just the flowers before you and the floating paper lanterns of different colors.
I tug on Marion and I'm like, what? Have you been here before? What is this? This is different.
Shrugs.
You are very useless as a guide. Yeah, that's what I thought. Won't even say anything. That's right. Okay. So, we got a bunch of lilies and paper lanterns. I walk out into some of the nearest lilies.
All right, you take a step into the red lilies and immediately begin to feel very warm.
It's hot!
And then hot. And then you
Hot,
start
hot,
to
hot, hot,
hear a ticking sound.
Oh, ticking. I have no concept of what this could
Literally
be.
a minefield.
And you take a few steps forward and the ticking seems to not move at all. It seems to be very close to your ears. And then you start to feel hotter and hotter and hotter, and the ticking is getting faster.
I run back to my friends.
As you exit the fire flowers, the heat and the ticking both lay off.
I felt very combustible, shall I say, in there. That was not a fun experience. Would not recommend.
So, do we have a blue gem? I don't think we do we?
Someone does, yeah.
I have it. I have the blue gem, I think.
But you have been
I have
yet
the hydro
unable.
one.
Yes, you've been yet unable to harness the power of those gems.
What color were the lanterns again?
The lanterns are all around. They are permeating the air.
What if we grab a blue lantern and take it with you.
Let's do it.
Just a
I
thought.
go run and look for a blue lantern.
For shiggles.
You jump up and grab one of the blue lanterns, and as soon as you touch it, it unfolds itself like imagine like origami unfolding itself magically into a tiny little flying creature, like a little mote, which you take in your hands, and then it sinks into your palms, and you feel a sort of like chill, cold power imbue you. Take a step into the red flowers and feel the heat around you, but not affecting you.
Interesting.
Good call, Aravir.
I'm a bit confused because I thought that water. Is this cold or water?
It's cold.
It's cold into.
It should have been an ice cube symbol.
I
Um,
thought cold went into black. No, I'm very
Cold,
confused.
cold empowered necrotic, but cold negated fire.
I thought that water negated fire.
There is no water.
There
It's
is
just
no
cold.
water.
So what's the light blue?
The light blue is wind.
It's green and it's wind.
Yeah. Thank you, Aravir.
Okay.
I got a
Alright.
list.
Well, cool.
You get a gold
walk
star,
into
Aravir.
the I walk into the red field of lilies.
You do just fine in the red field of lilies.
What color is next? What lilies are next?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same and follow Poofers.
All right.
Yeah.
To note, the kind of influence of the cold moat does not last indefinitely. You do feel its power wane over time. The next field of lilies is colored green.
Do the lilies lose their color, or what happens?
They do not lose their color, but you suspect that while it's not necessary, you can probably figure out a way to negate the flowers.
I dig around in the lily field.
You pull out some lilies, but it leaves many more.
I take my stone and I put it in the dirt near the lilies.
I will give you a hint. It has to do with compliments.
All right, Aravir, master of compliments. What compliments the red? The wind? I think it's wind.
So
Yeah,
compliment.
you
Wind.
look very nice today, lilies.
Wind
So-
does indeed. Okay, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
Wait,
I'm in
wind
here
does
with
complement fire. What are you doing with that?
Ooh, maybe hold on. Maybe we should not compliment the fire. Maybe we should compliment the cold. What compliments the cold?
Are we
Is
on?
it physical?
Are we on wind tulips?
What's the box?
You're currently still standing in the red tulips.
Okay.
The box is physical, yes.
Okay,
The
I
gray.
go find a gray lantern.
Okay.
I punch it, and then I absorb it.
Yes. So you feel the cold energy within you grow, and I'm just gonna do it for you. You draw your weapon, and the empowered cold energy enters the sword, and you slash it around, and the force from that is enough to wipe out the heat power of all of the red lilies.
Got it. So we destroy all these beautiful flower fields.
Okay.
No, it wipes out. It leaves the flowers, but it wipes out the red energy.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay, good. I
Okay.
was gonna be a little
Next
upset.
next field.
The next field is green.
So the opposite of wind.
I will say it might be useful to learn the effect of being in each of the fields.
Go into the field,
Ticking time
poopers.
bomb. Hold on. What lantern do I have?
Right, so that expended the energy attacking. So you have none right now.
Okay, so what lanterns do I need for a green field?
I don't know. Go into the green field, see what happens, and tell me.
Okay, I dip a toe in and then I step in.
All right, you step into the green field, and you feel gusts of imperceptible wind kind of rush by your ears and deafen you entirely. In addition to that, as you try and shout something out to your friends, you feel your voice isn't carried at all. The longer you stand there, the more you feel the force of the wind grow, and you feel like with exceeded amounts of time in here, you might start taking damage from that wind or being pushed around.
All right, I kind of like flatten myself down and crawl out of the field.
Okay. That goes away as soon as you exit it.
Sorry, I'm taking notes. Okay. So what do we need here? Oh geez, what counters wind?
Maybe physical?
We had nothing that
Or-
went to wind. The last thing was what's
Radiant.
that? Light or radiance?
Radiance.
I mean, we can try it.
Well, didn't we have to do the opposites though? We had to do the opposite of wind, right?
Right,
Which would
but
be physical.
is it?
I think so. I think that's what it was.
I think it's physical. I think it's the gray.
Can-
Because if you
can I
could
do
put up a physical barrier against wind, it would stop it.
All right, let's do it. What empowers physical? The radiance, right?
Yeah, electric, yellow.
Yellow empowers. Okay.
Electric powers the physical.
All right, so I'm gonna go punch a gray lantern and then punch a yellow lantern.
Alright, so as you punch the gray one, you are imbued with physical power, and the electric moat enhances that. So you're super physical now, but when you step into the wind field, you don't feel this negating the effects.
That did not work, and I roll back outwards. I'm like, guys, that didn't work at all. Well, shoot.
So you know certain opposites, right? You know fire and cold.
Yes.
What are the other ones you know?
The ones that we did.
Yeah, well, you did this one.
I
Yeah.
only have.
I thought that was it. Can I do
only
a
have the
history check since we
empowerment.
just did this?
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to do
I
that?
as well.
Wow, not 20 on that. You know fire and cold are opposites. You know physical and psychic are opposites. You know necrotic and radiant are opposites, and you know wind and lightning are opposites.
Is someone taking notes on that?
Looks like Erebir is. Okay, Erebir, master of elements. What do I punch? Tell me what to punch.
Okay, wait. Okay. So we need the complementary to then negate the opposite.
So we need to
So
empower
we need the
lightning.
opposite first, and then we need the complement of the opposite.
Okay, so to empower lightning, we would hit the yellow, punch the yellow, and then hit the gray.
Okay, let's do that.
You have that backwards. Lightning empowers physical.
Oh, okay. But then how do you empower lightning?
The one before it.
I think it's red.
Yes.
Red. So fire. Or so red.
Right?
Okay.
Lightning.
Yeah.
Lightning, then fire. Isn't that right?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that does empower lightning. You step into the wind field and slash out with your sword, consuming the lightning energy and negating the wind power of the field.
We did
Okay. Whew.
it. Can one of us post in context in Discord so people can see the chart since people can't see it anymore?
I don't understand how to get opposites from this chart.
I'll tell you because the puzzle, the opposites should be fairly like obvious. But if you drew a line mimicking these over the chart, so like water to fire, and then wind to lightning, necrotic to radiant. Like that.
That is very confusing. I see.
You know, I did my best. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
get it,
post
I get it.
relationships for you in your Discord.
I also posted the references in chat as a screenshot,
Okay.
so people can follow along.
The next field is black.
Black.
The opposite of the necrotic, the black, is the white radiant. And we need to empower the radiant, which is, I think,
Was that with physical?
gray?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm writing this out for you. Say it again. What order are you hitting things in?
So,
Go ahead, Everyear.
oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say that we want to empower the radiant with the physical. So we need to empower the white with the gray to cut through the black.
Psychic
These are black
empowers.
lilies.
Yeah. So you want to empower radiant, which is done with psychic.
She posted all of this in our player notes channel.
Okay. That's weird. On the track, I think it's... Or does it go past it? I guess it crosses over. That's where
Yeah.
I got confused. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Then we're going to empower Radiant with Psychic to cut
Okay.
through the black field.
I
Which
take
you
a
are able
couple
to-
steps into the black field very slowly because I know what necrotic damage is and I'm a little bit scared of it. Just want to see what it does.
As you step in, you feel a large amount of insects seem to conjure out of the air and infest toward you. You feel like with increased time in this, not only would you take damage from their stings, but you would have to focus on swatting them away.
Got it. Okay. I step back out and I take the lanterns, punch them, step back in, and whirl away the lilies.
All right. The next set of lilies are gray.
So the opposite of gray. And then empowered of the opposite.
So, gray, the opposite
Physical's
is
the opposite. Oh wait, sorry.
psychic. And get empowered by necrotic, it looks like.
Yep. Okay. That is correct. So I assume you step in first to
Yes.
figure out what it does. Here, you start to move in and you feel the ground rumble beneath you as knives conjure from the ground and follow your steps as you run around.
Gnarly.
And turn back out before you clear the field. The next field is blue.
Blue. So, we want fire, which is empowered by wind.
And the fire field, I'm sorry, the cold field. You feel yourself slow down, like you would not be able to take advantage of all opportunities in your turn. Not only with that, but you move slower and feel like you couldn't dodge things as well. With increased time, there may also be damage attached. The next
Got it.
field is yellow.
Yellow. So, we've got wind empowered by radiant, maybe?
Yes.
'Kay.
So, the wind field, or the lightning field, you step in and feel yourself become shocked, and you feel like there's a pretty fair chance that you would become stunned, with extended exposure to this.
Cool.
The next is, pure white lilies.
Guessing that's radiant, which
And-
means necrotic empowered by cold.
Well, do you want to step into the Radiant?
Yeah, I have been.
Radiant completely blinds you as your sight is overcome with bright white light. And you also feel that light start to burn you a little bit.
Crispy.
That was an uncomfortable one.
The last field is purple. When you step into this one, you feel yourself at loss in your ability to control yourself, and it feels like you really have to fight to have control over how your actions are directed.
Okay. So that one gets damaged by physical, empowered by lightning.
Cool. And that clears the last field.
I made it.
With that, you are able to continue down the path, at the bottom of which you enter a very, very large cavern. Now, this is going to take a moment to describe, so I'm going to start by putting the image in our context channel. It's actually a GIF. Very fancy. This cavern is, I can also put you on here on Roll20. This cavern is mostly dark. It's largely covered in water with a few kind of like little islands sprouting up out of this very shallow water that you can walk through. In the back, there are a few waterfalls pouring from a hole in the ceiling through which a kind of beautiful soft white light pours down, the first of its kind and very out of place that you've seen since being down here. Its light is cast down upon what looks to be a stone altar, as well as the ruins of something behind it. And Maestro, if you could start playing that one tune I sent you. That would be great. As you enter this cavern, and you see it's very beautiful. It's very peaceful. You see this kind of like watery area. There are these little land masses covered in lilies and also some ivory bones kind of scattered about. You hear centered at the altar a very sorrowful tune playing.
Oh, this is very different. What do you guys think? Should we go up? There's the stone here
The stone.
that we're looking for.
Can I get a check?
We're looking,
Yeah, it is very close in here.
we're looking for the white stone.
Tempe, where's that music coming from? You know music.
He listens carefully for a moment, and while it's obvious that the sound is coming from up ahead, you guys are still kind of in the back of the cavern here. He notes that this is a very ancient song of love, like something that might play at a wedding.
Oh, this one's gonna be a tearjerker. All right, we approach the altar.
Okay. As you grow closer to the altar and more of this little island comes into sight, you pass an increasing number of bones scattered across the water and the lands here that look like they've been worn away with age after who knows how many years. Up ahead behind the altar lie the ruins of what you can only assume are a sort of wedding carriage, like something that the newlyweds would be kind of paraded around in a wedding procession. It is crumbled, it's destroyed. The nice purple silks that once hung from it are all on the ground and dirtied and destroyed with time. And kind of sitting amongst those ruins, visible now only faintly, now that you've approached, and bathed in this white light, is the ghostly visage of a drow man playing a string instrument across his lap. On the altar before you, there are a series of papers in a language you're not familiar with that look older than time. The candles, magically lit with white light, illuminate the area and cast a nice glimmer on a series of what are probably wedding gifts, various knickknacks, trinkets, and chests full of treasures. But most notably on the altar, there is a single gold ring surrounded by white lilies.
I would like to slowly approach the ghost and see if he reacts at all.
He seems to have no notice of you. Like he's focused on this one thing that he's doing.
White lilies around a gold ring, guys. What do you think that means?
It's obviously one wedding ring.
Do we have any rings on us?
Yes, you do.
No,
Your ring-
no. Any other rings? Actually, I'd like to look around at some of the bones and see if any
Same.
of them.
Yeah,
have
investigate to
hands
see if
with
there's any
rings on them.
rings or jewelry on them.
All right. Take an investigation check from everyone who's looking.
17.
All right.
Oh, there's a nat 20.
Yeah, there
A
is.
-1.
So, the bones scattering this place seem to be kind of presented in smaller groups, like there was an audience here or something like that. A few of them still have tatters of clothes around them, and they have maybe jewelry that they would have worn in life that is just corroded and destroyed with age. Nothing that is in the perfect condition that the gold ring on the altar is in.
How about in the wedding carriage?
The wedding carriage is home mostly to the tattered remains of the wood and the kind of silks that were once there. I will take a history check from Viren and or Erebir. Viren, you recall seeing white lilies somewhere on your way here apart from the cave.
Wasn't there a grave with some white lilies before we entered the fields?
I don't know. I rolled very low.
I'm pretty sure there was.
Maybe we should get some of those and bring them.
Or maybe we grave dig and reunite them.
I mean, I don't think it sounds crazy at this point. I mean, clearly this spectral musician seems to be longing for something.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go get it.
Let's do both.
Respectfully.
All right, so you guys make your way quickly back up towards that grave, which you arrive at. There are still white lilies there.
I'll grab white lilies and poofers can jump in the grave.
I very slowly and respectfully dust off the grave. I'm not like digging through it. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of looking to see what's there.
So you respectfully dig up the grave, and it is in fact an empty grave. But once you get low enough into the depths of this grave, you come across a small box, which you open and find a gold ring inside.
I think this is it, guys.
Sorry, the box is also engraved.
Ooh, I take the whole box then.
Yes. You can do that. I have to
Alright,
find
let's
the name
go.
in my notes though. So you go back down to this place where the musician still seems to be playing. And again, he doesn't seem to take note of your presence, but you have arrived at the ring. What would you like to do?
I'd like to take the box and place it on the altar and open it up and then put the ring by the other ring in the lilies.
All right. You place those together. You notice that do you want to take like notes of the inscription on the box or anything?
Yes.
Clearly, yes.
Okay, it's fine. You just don't know the language, so you have to get it translated. And as you place that ring and those lilies together on the altar, the source of the white light starts to lower, and the light no longer is channeled kind of down this pillar to a single pillar, and you see a white gem lowering down towards the musician beneath it, and its light starts to spill out farther and farther across the cave, and as it does, you see it illuminate the edges of this cavern, and there's an audience of likewise ghosts kind of sorrowfully watching this musician, seeming to be waiting for something, and the gem lowers and lowers and reveals the lost souls trapped in this cave, trapped in this forever longing, until it touches the ground and begins to dim. And as the light dims and draws inward towards the gem, its edges kind of lose the visibility of those ghosts, and the last of those lost to the dimness is the musician as his song finally stops.
Well, this was very sad. Poopers has a little tear on her eye. I hope they reunited. I hope that we helped them.
Who would like to pick up the gem?
You want this one, Aravir? It's very
Sure, I'll pick it
sentimental.
up.
You
Gently and with respect.
feel a very it's not quite warmth, but it's also it's more like hope, kind of invigorate you through contact with this gem. And I'd like you to roll insight, please. You get the urge to kind of hold up this gem. You feel like a special kind of bond with it, and you hold up the gem to where the musician once sat, and a very faint not pillar, a very faint wave of light, kind of only a few feet long, shines out from the gem and illuminates where that musician was sitting, and you can see and hear him once again. And as you kind of shine the gem, walking around the room, you see these ghosts still trapped here, but now they are neither seen nor heard.
I mean, everyone else can see this as well, correct?
Yeah, it's wherever the gem's light touches, you can see the ghosts if they're there.
Interesting. Wonder if we can find more of these around the city.
Probably.
With that, all 8 gems are accounted for. 6 are in your immediate possession, 1 is in your very far away possession, and 1 is in the possession of your temporary allies.
Alright guys, should we go back?
Marion seems to look off into the distance again, before motioning that there is one more thing he wants to show you before you go back to camp.
I mean, he's been a good guide so far, if not a little quiet.
Yeah, he can understand common but not speak it. So he takes you across the city once again. It is on the way kind of back toward your camp, but he stops in what you must assume would be a sort of religious district. There's a very large temple not too far away. It's kind of on the other side of the long plaza. But before you is a great stone mural depicting a sort of ascendance of a radiant drow lady as she kind of overlooks the city that looks much like this one, and scattered throughout the mural with sort of beams of power that kind of connect the lady to them are 8 rectangular slots.
Oh man. You guys know what this is, right?
Telepathically, yeah, they're gonna want us to put them all in there.
What is in the immediate surrounding area here? What does the stage look like?
So there are a series of buildings to your right and left, as well as a very long straightway of just stone path, but in the middle of it is like a long pond. The water is now filthy and disgusting, obviously. And think of it like a kind of like a mirror pool. And at the far end of the straightway, a few hundred feet away, is an enormous church or temple or cathedral that is more or less in ruins by now. The kind of very delicate parts of the architecture have crumbled over time, and it is mostly recognizable because of its unique architecture that's still standing, as well as its immensity in size. And over the door to that cathedral is a very detailed sculpture depicting a ton of spiders, as well as a kind of like lady of spiders.
I think this is where we're gonna have to come back with Magnus.
I'm glad Magnus isn't here with that last gem right now.
Yeah, we definitely need to go rest up before this. And we need to keep it under wraps what we're doing. They can't know that we're gonna stop this ritual. So,
This is all
I'm starting-
telepathic, by the way.
This is all telepathic.
I'm starting to wonder if bringing her back might help the city. But she seemed like a pretty bad lady, so I'm not sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's the one that sacrificed the entire city and turned it into a home for monsters, so probably not.
Alright, well,
That is
should we
another
go back?
notable thing, is this area is weirdly free of monsters.
Oh, nice. Can we rest here?
I mean, if you
Please
want to.
safer.
Take a nice nap in an abandoned building.
What would you wish to do?
We should probably go back and wait for Magnus.
Yes.
That way he's not alone in a group of, 30 drow when he gets here.
Or if he
Alright.
doesn't speak the language.
So that is the extent of the content I have for you tonight. There are a few things to consider that you may want to discuss for a few minutes. A lot of the material that you discover tonight will be very relevant for this boss fight. The boss fight will last the entire session, hopefully, unless things go really wrong for me.
Really wrong for us.
Yeah. It will be the most mechanically diverse fight you've been in.
Oh, jeez.
And there are a couple other lore pieces that you might want to consider, and I will remind you of them because I think that's mostly fair since this quest has gone on so long. The original use of the gems, as told to you by Imbros, way back when, before the tournament, was to cast this spell that would rid the city of its invaders. Now they are being used for a slightly different purpose, kind of. When they were used the first time, they more or less killed everything, because to the Mad Queen, death and destruction was more honorable to Lolth's name than invasion by an outside force. That the unification of the gems in that time caused everything in a large vicinity to have its life essentially sucked out of it, and the souls have since been trapped down here. You are going to unite the gems, something might happen. Or that's something to at least think about, how you might protect yourselves from that if it should happen. Other than that, there are other considerations like the 15 or so drow that probably won't want you stopping anything, as well as the effort to get to the boss arena, the attention it might draw once it starts, and
By
the
boss arena, you mean the area that we were just in with the
Yes.
statue. Okay.
the attention it might draw during the boss fight, and the after effects. If there is a huge explosion, and then you win whatever goes on, and there are suddenly 500 monsters right outside. Those are just things to think about.
All of those have very non-obvious solutions.
That just sounds fantastic.
And we're gonna go back to the camp and we're gonna have those gems. What happens if they just kill us all and then wait for Magnus to show up?
They could.
We don't let them.
And then, so we can use this ritual to get rid of all the monsters and free the souls. Do we do that in the same ritual spot?
Yeah.
It seems like that's the spot.
Yeah, that's a DM question.
Yeah, that's a safe assumption.
Wonder what the difference is of using the stones to free the soul and cast out the invaders versus helping summon Lulz.
Didn't Himby say that there needed to be a vessel, which Lulz will be cast into?
The vessel will be used to channel the souls trapped down here to the divine realm. It is a bridge from the material to the divine, which will go directly to Lulz.
Okay,
The vessel itself is not her.
I see.
Wait,
But-
so Lulz wants the souls? Is that? I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, so to
You can
review,
give an overview.
yeah, to review, it's fine. I made this very complicated. The ruin, as you guys understand it, does not spare gods because they have a inherent connection to the material plane. Their existence is born of mortals, and their survival depends on the worship of mortals as well as the collection of their worshippers' souls. Lulth does not want to die when the ruin comes because it will more than likely wipe out all of her worshippers, and that's her. And her solution to this is to find a way to ascend beyond typical godhood and enter a state akin to more like, not quite primal, but near primal, which will allow her to free herself from dependence on mortals and survive the ruin. Should the ruin come to pass, she will then more or less be the only god to rule over the few survivors as well as oversee the continuation of mankind and everything it does. And as she is an evil god, that is probably not ideal. Imbrose's master, known otherwise as the Watcher, has little interest in seeing the natural progression of mankind follow that. He doesn't typically interfere with anything because he wants to see everything play out naturally and gain knowledge that way. However, if Lulth does survive the ruin, she's going to control everything, and he is less interested in seeing a kind of like narrow
He would
on
survive
progression.
the ruin?
He is not a god. You're not sure what he is. And in order to motivate you to help him see this through, as well as some ulterior motives that you don't know about, he will offer you the answer to one question.
That's right.
Where the answer has to be known by someone.
By a mortal?
Yes.
Or okay.
He cannot like tell you the cosmic truths of the universe because they would break your mind.
We will need to discuss that as players before next session, I would assume.
The question I imagine we'll do the following session, or we don't have to attach a timeline to it. Like you can ask it when you want.
That would be better because I think we'll need to really give a good think on that one.
Yeah. Amanda/Airbeer had a really good point that I want to highlight because I think it already answers some of the questions that I posed at you. These gems are known for sucking the life out of things when reunited, and there are many things alive in the city. So, that is also something to consider.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, alright. We're gonna have to think about that.
Yeah. Tempest has 16 or 17 intelligence. If you really need help over the next week, we can have some discussions, and I can give you more hints.
Smart Tempe.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any other questions, session relevant tonight?
I have a lot of questions, but that would take too long.
I'm good.
All right. In that case, yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
Hooray!
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next Friday,
We get our butts kicked by a god.
probably. See you then.